Welcome, and welcome back, everybody, to the Okay Grognard Network. Today is not Wednesday, July 29th, 2026, in beautiful Lake Geneva. It's actually Friday the 31st, 2 days after when I intended to record this show and come back from my summer hiatus, and lo and behold, local events, activity in and around the studio. It could have caused some recording problems, got in the way, and I had to put it off, and then other things took precedence. So here we are, post-summer hiatus, post-EggCon 3, post-Gary Gygax Day. And what is the story there? Well, I'll tell you what, I had a good time at EggCon 3, played in some events with Carlos Lysing, played in an event with Alan Hammock, got a couple of board games in, and yeah, all in all, good clean fun. And here's Mike. Hey Mike, thanks for the welcome back, it's much appreciated. But what are we going to talk about today? I think we're definitely thanking everyone at EggCon 3, which includes, of course, Heidi and Eric and everybody who helps put that together. Paul, of course, and all of the other DMs and volunteers and staff and all of the vendors, everybody who was there. It was just wonderful. I got a chance to see many people, but never as many as you like. I had as much time as I could filled with games and didn't run anything this year. Hopefully sometime in the future I'll get a chance to do that, but I don't know. Maybe my running games at conventions days are behind me. It's a couple of conventions now. EggCon 3 and GaryCon 18 in March. I didn't run anything then because I had some other family and outside commitments that were taking me away from that. But, you know, there's been good and bad over the last week. EggCon 3, week and a half, 2 weeks. Gary Gygax Day was on Monday, which was a wonderful event. But sadly, that same day, just to the north of us in Menasha and Appleton area, a tornado ran through, and who does it hit but the studio that was built up by Andy Cosmo Joe Watkins, Studio 66, and the Arpex Dungeons and Dragons experience, a live action sort of event in their engraving studio, the whole thing, and Dennis and the rest of the crew up there who have been keeping it going for the last year. They got hit so hard. I mean, there's a GoFundMe. I've got a link in the show notes. They're hoping to get some money together and get this whole thing together before Phoenix Con, which is coming up in the middle of August. So it's just a couple of weeks away. And they were a big part of that, along with Chimera Games up in Appleton, and you know, this is a devastating blow, so hopefully people can help out and you know, participate in the funding of it. Once again, thanks to everyone at EggCon 3 for the wonderful events and everything. And I also want to mention in that regard that there were a lot of people that were in town for EggCon 3 that got around to a lot of the events, you know, and a lot of the locations. The Stone down by the fountain, people made sure to get down there, and not only for EggCon 3, but over GaryCon last Monday, or Gary Gygax Day last Monday, the big day. Of course, he passed away back in 2008, but his birthday was the 27th of July. and people still honor it and recognize him. Of course, there were games played over at 330 Center Street, the birthplace of D&D, where in 1974, pounding away on his typewriter with notes from himself and Dave Arneson from Minneapolis, they put together the original Dungeons and Dragons rules. If you're in town and you get a chance to visit there, please do. And if you get a chance, pick up one of their T-shirts designed by the wonderful Darlene. It's such a great logo, and they may have some available for you to pick up and wear proudly. And another place when you're in town, you got to visit the Geneva Lake Museum, preserving the past for the future. They are official museum in town, and they have the Wizard of Lake Geneva Gary Gygax exhibit. They've got some hoodies and T-shirts and other merch that you can pick up if you want a remembrance of having been there and visited. You might not run into Sonia or Mike Carr. She is an author, local author, and a curator of the exhibit, and Mike Carr, of course, instrumental in helping put it together. And they are definitely wonderful people who have done a lot to help continue the legacy of Gary Gygax here in town. Don't forget, over to the library, they've got the Throne of Reading with the Appendix N section books from the first edition Dungeon Master's Guide. So you can go and check out all the authors that are mentioned in that wonderful section of the back of the book with inspirational reading for Dungeon Masters. He was a New York Times best-selling author and co-author of Dungeons & Dragons, spent his days combing through the Lake Geneva Public Library, which he dearly loved. You'll find at the far end of Library Park also that there is a bench with a brass plaque on it. Or is it bronze? Bronze. It's a bronze plaque, denoting a place where Gary loved to sit and look at the lake and maybe do some reading and think about the games work he was going to be doing. You also have to visit the original location for Gen Con, the Horticultural Hall. And that's been around since, well, there's some debate. Some stones outside say 1911, but the plaque on the wall says 1912. I haven't gotten to the bottom of that yet, but it's an interesting little debate. It's certainly over 100 years old. And more recently, in the stones outside the stoop there, the front step, you'll find they've installed the Founder's Stone. Gary Gygax, founder of Gen Con. August 24th, 1968, we're coming up on the 58th anniversary of that in just a little over 3 weeks, so we'll have to memorialize that for some reason. Now, a lot of these, most of these, shall we say, many, if not, most of these efforts that are being put forth now to memorialize Gary are part of the Gygax Memorial Fund. The estate has been making all of these great efforts to be sure that Gary is memorialized properly and will never be forgotten. It was just a few years ago that the then Mayor Klein dedicated a day by proclamation, the 27th, and this is why we call it Gary Gygax Day officially now. The 27th in 2023 was declared Gary Gygax Day. The following year, then Mayor Krause not only made it official, but for the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons 2024 proclaimed it would be henceforth known as Gary Gygax Day. So it's now not only official for that day, but for every Gary Gygax Day to come, which is wonderful. Of course, we celebrated the day last Monday, and don't forget now, just another month or so, we'll be remembering Ernie Gygax as well. His birthday was September 2nd, and he passed away in January a year ago, and we will not forget him either. And we like to celebrate both of them. And we do that at Lake Geneva Games, another great place, I think, if you're in town to visit. There's Ken Haylock, an excellent first edition / Osric DM, who recently ran a game at 330 Center Street for Bill Allen and some others to great acclaim. There's Jason, of course. This is taken in 2015, so it's 11 years old. Jason, the owner of the store since 2010, continues to be the owner. There's Alex Gygax, who worked there several years and helped move the ball down the field. That's me on the left there with a Tower of Gygax shirt on, which has long since disintegrated from overwear. Wish I still had that. I have the hat. But, of course, Alex, a big fan of Magic the Gathering. He also was instrumental in bringing in a number of artists to celebrate the store and Gary and local events, including Charles Urbach there, who brought a tapestry for the store to hang up with all of those wonderful Easter eggs on it. If you look through this poster, you'll find dozens of little references to the Sorting Hat there, the Bobbies, the Barbarians helmet up top middle there, the glaive upper right from Krull, Odin's Raven, the idol from the first edition. Player's Handbook there on the left, upper left, you'll see the top of the spear from Dragon Slayer. There are just many, many, many wonderful Easter eggs in this. If you're at the store, you can check it out. Or look up Charles Urbach. This is a poster that I believe is available. We did on January 1st of this year celebrate the 52nd anniversary. Invited Donna to come join us, Donna Gygax, Ernie's widow, and of course Al was there, and Nick McGarren, and there's Jason on the right, and there's Vince Ragusa on the left, and we rolled up first edition characters, and that was a fun time that we had. Vince enjoyed it, of course. I think we had a little pizza. Vince brought some pizza, of course. He's very nice that way. Hey, don't forget, a couple more announcements before we get going. This is the last day for Fat Dragon Games Christmas in July sale, being the 31st of July. I don't know that it'll run longer, but he's got all sorts of things on Drive-Thru RPG that are for sale. He's got so many different product lines to choose from, and you got to love them all. Go check them all out. You got papercraft buildings. You've got miniatures, 3D print terrain. He's got his World of Tesla war game. He's got his where's this at? Battlefront Valkyrie, of course. His space ship-to-ship combat war game is very, very wonderful. He recently put out a game for the 250th anniversary of the United States, which you can find over there as well, so check that out. And congrats to Joseph Wolf, our buddy, an RPG writer who has been working on Dungeon Dwellers role-playing game for Reaper Miniatures. It's fulfilled this spring, and they finally have the print books available on the Reaper Miniatures site. So go check that out. And, whether you want PDFs or you want the books, if you get that collector's box, it comes with some metal tokens, and it comes with a dice bag and dice, all sorts of cool stuff. So make sure to check all of that stuff out, and you should be all set. Like I said, I'll make sure that I have links in the show notes for all of these things. Once again, most importantly, I think, with some urgency, I do want to repeat, there is a link down there for a GoFundMe to help out Studio 66 up in Appleton, the legacy of Andy Cosmo Joe Watkins being helped out by Dennis and a bunch of his friends trying to get it back together after they were hit by a tornado last Monday that touched down in Menasha, Wisconsin, Appleton area, and did a lot of damage, as you can see from photos. And go to the GoFundMe. You'll see even more that will inspire you to help out if you can, and it would be greatly appreciated. I think that's about it for what we have to say for today. Sorry I didn't get this out Wednesday. I know, late coming back from my summer hiatus. Having the summer hiatus over July with EGGCon happening in July has been difficult these last couple of years. I think what I'm going to have to do is move the summer hiatus into June and end it with the holiday, because then I won't be conflicting with other things, unless, of course, then they move EGGCon to another date. But we'll see. I'll find out what they're doing before I make my move, and we'll do something appropriate and something that makes it easier for myself and for people that are following the show. Shows? It's shows now, isn't it? Yeah, because now we've got not only the OS Watch, but guidelines on Sunday and periodicals Friday, which is today. I'm going to be trying to put together a second part of the Friday periodical show looking at the first Dragon magazine. We'll get back to that. There's so much in there. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have the Len Lakofka miniatures rules done as a separate show. They're pretty intense, and I don't want to short shrift them. I want to make sure that they get all the attention they deserve. One of the early, it was in the first Dragon miniature rules back in the 70s, coming out that weren't, they're a post D&D war game, miniatures war game. As Chainmail was probably one of the last pre-D&D war game miniatures war games. So I think it's, and there was some EPT stuff also, and that's a separate issue. These are the rules I'm talking about were more closely tied to Dungeons and Dragons itself, which is kind of the focus of this show. So we'll stick with that. I think that's about it for today, so it's enough for me to say thank you very much to everyone who's following the show and the new network shows that I've put together. We'll get back in the saddle here now as we get into August and get these shows regularly running so everyone can enjoy them. But enough to say that I wanted to thank everyone for EggCon 3 and everyone who showed up at the store and into Lake Geneva for Gary Gygax Day last Monday, July 27th. Going forward, the shows are recorded on Twitch most Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then uploaded to YouTube for convenient streaming. So do please follow them and check them out. And don't forget that we want to thank everyone who watches and supports the efforts of this channel, all of the Patreon supporters, which we'll list here every show. And don't forget there's a free level too, so dive on in, help out. It's all appreciated. This is the Okay Grognard Network, and I want to thank you very much. So bye-bye.